Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today we have got yet another beautiful tutorial for your faces to enjoy. Today we are going to be taking a look at a monster bamboo farm. Now when it comes to bamboo farms, I don't know if you guys remember, but sometime last week we built this micro sugarcane farm. Now this thing also works for bamboo, so if you are interested, you could just go to that video, place in some bamboo instead of sugarcane, and it will work just the same. However, I still prefer giant bamboo farms because in the end, they definitely make a lot more bamboo, and bamboo grows so fast compared to sugarcane, I don't really see the point in using bone meal powered farms for it. This farm isn't really all that expensive in terms of materials either. I would say it's a mid-ranged farm. It is not as expensive as some farms I plan to show you in the future, but it is definitely more expensive than anything we have covered so far. However, it is very simple to build. There is a few different repeater timings and whatnot, but overall it isn't too complicated, and I think if you stick around for this video, I can explain it all to you pretty well. So how this farm works is you click this button to send out the flying machine. When clicking that button, your flying machine gets sent out. It will break all the bamboo. When it gets all the way to the end over here, it'll activate that observer and send it back the other way, and it will come back removing this bit of bamboo. As you can see, the hopper minecart collection system is currently just sitting there. When this flying machine docks back in the station, it will send out all the minecarts to pick up as many items as they can, and the minecarts will then come back and they will dock in their stations. Now, every time an item goes through this hopper, it keeps this piston extended, activating these observers facing into each other, which are activating this dropper. Pretty much once the hopper minecart runs out of items, the piston will get depowered, and all the items will have been shot out. All the items will get sent into a water stream, and then you can run that water stream to either a storage system or just somewhere in the ground where you pick them all up like I have it here. On average, this farm will make over a double chest per full harvest. This is more or less what you get per one full harvest of the farm, about a double chest and 5.5 stacks of bamboo. Now, as you can tell when you look in the farm, there is still a bit of bamboo just kind of laying around. This farm, when it is on a full harvest, so all your bamboo is fully grown when you harvest it, sometimes these hopper minecarts just get too full. They can't grab any more items. So what I recommend is once your flying machine comes back into its docking station and all your minecarts start unloading, wait about 2.5 minutes, and after 2.5 minutes, your minecarts should all be pretty much done unloading. You can send out your machine again, not because you're necessarily harvesting more bamboo, but just because it will send out your minecarts to collect whatever leftover bamboo is sitting on the ground. As you can see, this hopper minecart was empty when we just sent it back out, and it is already full again. Most of the bamboo that gets left on the ground in this farm ends up being piled on this one row of blocks here, because the flying machine was going across. As the slime blocks hit and break bamboo, it kind of gets shot across and just starts to pile up on this row of blocks. In the end though, you don't end up losing a lot of bamboo. There is not very much left in there now, and if you did really want to, you could send it out a third time. But this farm makes so much bamboo, I don't really think that is much of an issue. Anyway guys, if you are interested in building this farm, there will be a full materials list containing every item I used to build this farm behind me in the description below. And with all that out of the way, let's get into the tutorial. Alright guys, so the first thing you're going to want to do when it comes to building your bamboo farm is dig a hole. This is a 14 wide by 20 long 2-block deep hole, and right next to it we have a 5-block deep, 20 wide, 20 long by 5 wide hole. This area is where we are going to lay the minecart tracks, and this is where the automatic unloading stations and minecart docking bays are going to sit. So the first thing we're going to want to do is jump in this hole and face this way. We are going to come out by 2, and then we are going to remove this whole strip of 20 blocks, just like so, and replace it with a powered block. I'm just using redstone blocks. You could just put a lever on the bottom side of any type of solid block. That would do the same thing, but I'm going to be doing this because it is much easier. Then you're going to want to come down by 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And right here, we are going to add another strip of powered blocks. So remove the entire strip of blocks in the ground and replace it with your powered blocks. You can also remove those 8 temporary blocks you used to count it out. So now we can kind of start laying out the redstone area for this. So if you jump down into your 5-block deep part, right here you've got where the rails are going to be sitting. Underneath this ledge, dig out these 2 blocks like so, and do that all the way down so that you have this 1 block hanging over. Once you have that done, we can go ahead and start installing the auto dropper systems. What we're going to do is grab temporary blocks, our droppers, hoppers, comparators, observers, and sticky pistons. We are going to go ahead and place our droppers every other block facing into that little overhang area like so. So it's kind of set up like this. Do that going all the way down, just like so. You should have this open area on the edge where another temporary block would go. You can go through and remove all those temporary blocks, just like so. Place a hopper going straight down into every single dropper, just like that. And then place a solid block, one in and to the right of every hopper, just like this. So now, what you have should kind of look just like so. Now what you are going to do is place a solid block behind every single one of your droppers. Place a comparator facing towards your hopper on top of every single one of those solid blocks. And place another solid block on top of every single one of your comparators. So it should look like this now. Now what we're going to do is place an upside down sticky piston coming out of the output of every single one of your comparators, just like this. So currently your system should be looking like so. Place an observer just under your sticky piston facing into that solid block behind your dropper. So it should look like so. Now what we're going to do is place an observer under that solid block that your comparator is on top of, facing towards empty air that is under your observer, which is attached to your sticky piston. This way, whenever an item goes into your hopper, the observers face into each other. Go ahead and do that for every single one of your systems. And then what you're going to do is that output of the bottom observer, place a solid block next to it. So under every single one of your droppers will be a solid block. Now you can put as many items as you would like into your hopper. They will all get automatically dropped out. Now it is time to put in the rail. Place a powered rail on top of every single one of your hoppers. And then next to every single one of those powered rails, you will have 2 normal rails, just like so. Now you should be at your first area of powered track, where you will place a powered rail. The next 8 blocks will be normal rail, and then you will have another powered rail, and then 2 normal rail going into the wall. Now what you're going to do is add 2 more powered rail, make a U-turn, another powered rail on top of your powered block, 8 more normal rail, another powered rail. However, guys, I'm actually realizing you are going to want to move your solid block back by 1 so that they are even with the hoppers. Otherwise, you will be removing area for your minecart hopper to pick up bamboo, and you will actually be losing items. Sorry, that was a bad on my side. But what you should end up having is a track that looks just like this. Now what you're going to do is repeat that on every single one of these systems and come back once you have that completed. Alright guys, welcome back. Now we have gotten all of our rails in. It is time to run the redstone line across that will power all of these rails on top of the hoppers to send out your minecarts. What we're going to do is place solid blocks all the way across so that you end up with a straight line of blocks like this. You will place 3 redstone dust here like so, a repeater here, and 15 redstone dust all the way down the rest of the line like so. You can leave this final block out, that is not necessary. Now we are going to add the water for our ice stream. What we're going to do is grab our glass blocks and place one between every single dropper, just like so, to prevent the water from flowing out everywhere. I advise you leave this last one out so you can escape. Then what we're going to do is come all the way down here, place 4 pieces of ice, place a water source and hastily place 4 more. Place a button right here on that last block of flowing water, like so. Place 4 more blocks of packed ice, water bucket, and hastily place 4 more pieces of ice to prevent the water from flowing everywhere. Place in a button, 3 packed ice, and now it is time to make your water stream go wherever you want it to go. For me, I'm just going to add a bubble column right here. Unfortunately, this appears to be a bit of a mess right now, but shouldn't be too hard to work around, guys. Alright guys, now that I've taken care of all that water and made a bit of an area, we have got 3 blocks of packed ice. I'm going to place in 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Then I'm going to place a 9th, put a button on top of it, and I'm going to place my Soal Sand here. I'm going to place blocks all the way across the roof, like so, and I'm going to place 4 water sources up to the surface on top of my Soal Sand to create a bubble column. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back down here, remove this packed ice in that opening, place my bucket of water, put my packed ice back, and place in the block of glass to hold in that water like so. And now that is your water stream done. Any items that end up entering these hoppers will get dispensed into the water stream and shot out of this bubble column like so. Now that all of this is in, we can go ahead and add our layer of grass above all of the rails. Your grass will be 14 blocks wide, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It should leave the unpowered powered rail sitting on top of your hopper, every other block exposed just like so. So I'm going to let you guys go ahead and completely fill in all your grass, and then come back once you have that step complete. Alright guys, now that all of your grass is in, it is time to put in the glass that which your bamboo will be sitting in. We will also install the leaf docking stations for the flying machine. What we're going to do is grab our leaves from this block right here, just outside your rails. We're going to go down a total of 14 from this block placed here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. What we're going to do is we're going to place a temporary block here, a leaf on the outside, and one above it, and then we can remove that block. Take these leaves all the way across the top, and add another block on the outside. So you should have a little opening, slit like so, where your flying machine will be going through. Now what you can do is come out by 5 blocks of leaves from that slit and fill in the entire area. Okay, once you have that, we can add the border. Fill in the sides with leaves, just like so, and leave the back open. You are going to need to grab your obsidian, and what you're going to do is from the left side, you're going to place 6 leaf blocks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and on this 7th block is where your obsidian is going to be sitting. Then you can just fill in the rest of the area with leaves. Now what you're going to do is from this block here, you're going to place 20 blocks of glass going all the way across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Then what we're going to do is add in the exact same little leaf slit opening on this side. So we're going to go 14 leaf blocks all the way across. Temporary block, 1 block on the outside, 1 above, all the way back across, and add a block on the outside. Now what we can do is come out by 4 blocks on that on the bottom layer of leaves and fill in this entire area. Now that all of that is in, it is time to add the edge. Once again, come all the way out on both sides with the leaves, like so you have something that looks like this. Grab your obsidian, and what you're going to want to do is come out from the right side of your leaves by 4 blocks, 1, 2, 3, 4, and on that 5th is where you're going to place in your obsidian block. Then you can fill in the whole left side with leaves, and what you should have is something that looks a little bit like this. Now what you can do is place a temporary block here, go out by 1 and remove that temporary block, and you can fill in a 20-line strip of glass blocks, just like so, right above the hopper docking stations for your minecarts. Now what you can do is take each strip of glass blocks up by 2 more layers on each side. You can leave these corners out so that you end up with an angle with the top lip of the flying machine slit is equal to the height of your glass. Now on the other side, take it up by 2 more layers. So you end up with a nice little area looking like this. Now what you're going to want to do is take this up by an additional 14 layers. There we go, I've just done 1 layer. And you're just going to keep repeating that all the way around until you reach a total height of 17 blocks tall. Pause the video, go ahead and do that, and come back once you are finished. Alright guys, so once you have all of your glass in, it is time to start building the flying machine. What we're going to do is come all the way down to this end of the farm that I have shown here, because this is where the flying machine is actually going to be sitting. What you're going to do is place an observer facing into the obsidian block in the leaves, like so. Out the back of that observer, place a slime block and a sticky piston facing away on the back of that. Then we are going to add a line of slime blocks going all the way down to the edge, leaving a 1 block gap, where you will place any block of your choice. I'm going to be using white glass. Place a block of glazed terracotta. Any type of glazed terracotta will work. And then a slime block to the right of that terracotta. This is 1/2 of your flying machine built. Now what we're going to do is leave a block gap between the 2 halves and place a sticky piston 1 block away facing into that glazed terracotta. We are going to remove these 2 blocks of leaves here, place 2 temporary blocks out the back of that piston, remove 1, place an observer facing into that temporary block. I recommend you actually remove the piston right now, remove the temporary block, and put the piston back. Otherwise, your piston will activate and you may have an issue. Then what we're going to do is from that observer, we are going to go all the way down to the right with slime blocks, leaving a 1 block gap at the end, and that is where you will once again place your block of choice, for me, white glass. Now to the right of your sticky piston here, we will place a slime block, and to the right of that, a block of glazed terracotta. That is your flying machine set up and operational. Now what we're going to do is go to the opposite end of the farm to add in the feature that will automatically send your flying machine back. So what you're going to do is once you're at your obsidian block on the opposite side of your farm, you are going to place a solid block on your obsidian like so. Go to the left, place an observer facing into that temporary block, and a normal piston facing towards that direction next to the observer. You can remove your temporary block. Out the back of your observer, place a solid block, remove a block in the ground, and replace it with a solid block, and put redstone dust on top of it. You can place a solid block to the right of that redstone dust, remove the block in the floor between that solid block and your piston, place a solid block on the ground, a redstone repeater on 4 ticks. Now, whenever a block gets put in front of this observer, it will update it and your piston will get extended. That is going to be it for this side of the farm. You can now return back to your flying machine. Once you are back at your flying machine, it is time to add the system that will launch it. What you're going to want to do is grab a normal piston right next to this glazed terracotta on the second half of your flying machine. Place that normal piston facing into the glazed terracotta like so. Place another block of glazed terracotta right behind it and a block of obsidian in front of it like so. Now what we're going to do is remove these 3 blocks in the floor like so and replace them with solid blocks. Place a repeater on each block, put this one on 4 ticks, put this one on 4 ticks, and this one on 2 ticks. Now you can place a solid block here, remove a block in the floor, put a solid block there, redstone dust there, and put a wooden button on top of your solid block. Now whenever you click this button, your flying machine will get sent out. It will travel all the way across your farm, and when it makes it to the opposite side, it should activate this machine here, which will push this half across and automatically send it all the way back, where it should peacefully dock in its station. Now what you're going to do is grab another observer, place it facing into this observer, like so, remove these 4 leaf blocks and replace them with solid blocks. You will place a redstone dust coming out of that observer, a repeater on 4 ticks, and 2 more redstone dust, like so. Now, you need to remove these 4 leaf blocks, like so, and these 3. Replace them all with solid blocks. What you can do is add a redstone repeater here on 1 tick, and then add all the rest redstone dust. Now what you can do is remove this leaf block on the wall, remove this block of grass, and this block of grass like so. Place in 3 solid blocks of your choice, and 3 redstone dust on top. That will hook up your minecart system to the flying machine, so whenever you click this button, it will send out your flying machine and your minecarts. Now all that is left to do is place the minecarts in their docking stations, like so, and fill the farm up with bamboo. Alright guys, now that all the bamboo is in your farm, it is fully operational. All you have to do is wait for it to grow. But I'm not going to wait like a normal person. I'm going to set my random tick speed to 1000, and we are going to watch this bamboo speed grow all the way up to the top of the farm. While we wait for this bamboo to grow, if you do plan on checking out tomorrow's video, we have got a pretty monster kelp farm ready for you guys to enjoy. Alright, now that all the bamboo is fully grown, set the random tick speed back to 1. Now we can go ahead and test the farm. I'm going to click the button to send out our flying machine. All of our minecarts appear to have been sent out, and our bamboo is getting destroyed. All the minecarts successfully made it back into their docking station, meaning that our rail system was put in correctly. Our flying machine has made it to the end of the farm, and it is now going back the other direction, meaning that that docking bay on the far side of the farm was implemented correctly as well. Now once the flying machine makes it back into the docking station on the left side of the farm, it should send out all of our minecarts one more time, which it did, meaning that our redstone line was put in correctly, and all the minecarts should come back into their docking station, and they are all automatically unloading the bamboo into the water stream, and all the bamboo is getting shot out over here, meaning that our water stream was put in correctly and all the unloading systems were built properly. Now that we have proof of the farm working, guys, this is going to be the end of today's tutorial. If you have enjoyed, please consider subscribing. You have no idea how much it means to me to see that subscriber count go up. It just inspires me to continue making these videos. Anyway, guys, this has been Mr. Game and Aquatic, and I will see you next time. Bye!